weird, but I want to make a video today. I'm not sure if you know or not, but I launched my guerrilla publishing program this weekend, which is an opportunity to work with me to write a book. And today I wanted to answer a question I got by email, which was, how did you does that process begin? So I thought I would take a few minutes to talk about my writing journey, why I love writing books, why I believe writing books is one of the best ways to make a living, why I love it, also why I do it, but also how I got started and all the challenges that I came across, because it was like a multi-decade process, which I don't believe should be the case for most people. I don't think you necessarily have to spend decades figuring out or making mistakes or struggling or being fearful or frustrated. Definitely you need to take action and just start writing. That's a critical piece. But for me personally, I had problems with, first of all, I wanted to go traditional. So I had to pitch agents and publishers and try to get a book deal that way. And that was very difficult because I didn't have a platform. I had these big ideas. I thought, they would make a great book, but I didn't really have any way to support the vision. And publishers don't really want to work with writers unless they have a really good story. Like, they have to be able to sell the book, and nobody else is going to find the value of your book for you. That's really your job, whether you're pitching it or you're self-publishing. So one of the big aspects of guerrilla publishing that I think is kind of the main thing is that we don't ask for permission. If you're asking for help or permission, which is what most creative people do, they say, if only there was an opportunity, if only someone took a chance on me, if only someone gave me a gallery show or published my book or whatever. Other people aren't going to take risks for you, especially business risks or financial risks. And so if you put yourself in the place of a victim where you're asking for help or permission, that can be really challenging for you personally, because things that you need to do it yourself. And confidence comes from taking action and doing things and putting out books. So a lot of what I talk about in guerrilla publishing is just being okay to fail quickly and publish quickly. Even if you don't get everything right, even if the book isn't successful, you have to be willing to be okay with that. Because if you're not willing to be okay with your book being unsuccessful, it generally means you think the book, like, you're going to write this book, it's going to make millions of dollars, you're going to be, huge and famous. And if that doesn't happen, if you can't get anybody else to care or review the book or like the book, if you've set all your hopes and dreams on this one thing, this one project, and if it's the first time you've ever done, writing a book is a skill that takes a lot of practice, and a lot of authors, they just crank out the first book they can ever write. You should be invested in getting better, not in trying to be perfect and finishing one perfect book. But my point was, if you have your sights set on like Insta fame, and that doesn't happen, the frustration can be overthinking. Do I have what it takes? Am I cut out for this? Maybe I should just give up. Or you start playing the victim card and saying, well, I have a great book, but it's beyond the popular audience, or publishing is a scam. And I've actually heard this from a lot of people, not a lot. I got an email from someone who said self-publishing is a scam because they self-publish with a vanity press, and there are a lot of money and they will help you publish. So there are publishing services. Either you're doing traditional, where they pay for everything, but they also get a lot of the money, like most of the money, or you sign up with a vanity press. I wouldn't really even call it self-publishing, but it kind of is. That's what some people still think of self-publishing. It's paying somebody else to do everything for you. I think being an indie author, being a self-publisher, is really about controlling everything. You still hire, all the services that you need. You hire a cover designer, an editor, maybe a marketer, although I usually caution against any kind of book marketing and promotion. Paying for it doesn't work. You've got to do it on your own and build your own real platform and relationship with your fans. But my point was, this woman had been ripped off basically by vanity press, because a lot of self-publishing companies, they make it easy for you because authors, they don't want to do the work and it's all overwhelming. So there's a lot of companies fill the demand. There's millions of authors who have a book they want to write. Maybe they finish a manuscript, they want to get it out there, but they don't know how to do everything. So there's a lot of companies that will just give you a publishing package, which can be generally that covers book item formatting maybe. And they may offer some stuff that sounds good but really isn't a big deal, like a free ISBN or a free title page, which should be in every book or press release. Or they'll charge you like $5,000 for a press release, and those don't work anyway. So I caution against publishing packages because they're a business and they have to pay their whole team, and they also have to make enough profit for the bosses who are running the business. And they'll probably do like a passably okay job, like a mediocre job for you, but that's not good enough. If you want to really succeed in a competitive field, you need to focus on the important stuff, which is the title and the keywords and the topic. Like, is your basic offer, your core offer, the title, the genre, whatever, is that going to attract readers and satisfy them? So what I don't like about most companies or vanity presses or marketing agents is that they'll take your money and they'll work with you on the product that you have, that you've decided to publish, but they won't tell you that's not going to work. That's not going to be popular. They're not going to do the market research because they don't really care whether or not the book makes money. Actually, if your book doesn't make money, even better for them, because then they can sell you a high-priced marketing package. So I have skeptical reservations about vanity or small publishing businesses, small prices. Anybody who charges you might have from paying for a service provider, like paying for a really high quality book cover designer or a formatter or an editor. Those are things you probably need that you're going to need to hire someone for, but I would rather find the best person and hire them for that job rather than hire a company who says we're going to take care of everything for you and then they're just going to farm out all the work. I got way off track because I wanted to talk about the writing and my writing process, but this stuff is so important and I see a lot of people screwing it up. And I think it's one of the main things. Like, people are afraid of, how do I get started writing, because they don't know what the next step is. They don't know why spend, all this time, why spend months and months and months on a book that's either never going to get published if you can't get a traditional publishing deal or an agent, or it's going to get published if you're not confident enough to. Publishing is basically just about going as cheap as you can for the best quality product that you can and putting it out early to kind of test the market without spending tons and tons of time writing something that nobody wants. That's kind of critical. Most writers, they'll spend all this time writing a book first and then they'll find out they didn't build value into the product. Nobody else sees the value of the product. So they have to sit down with someone and explain the value in 10 or 20 minutes. If you have to do that, the book's not going to sell because no one's going to give you 10 or 20 minutes to listen to you talk about your book. That's why most books aren't successful. Yeah, sorry, someone said there's a laggy video. My connection's probably not great. The lighting is kind of a little better. So I'm not all washed out. I'm going to change gears. I'm going to try to change gears and talk more about the writing process, my writing process. My first book took probably 10 years to write, my first novel. I was putting out nonfiction easier. I was writing fiction in college, but I never did anything with it. I got my master's and my PhD. I started working with the editor. Well, I started for people who were writing books and needed help putting it out there. So that's how I got involved in self-publishing, in the publishing process, and got to really know and understand Amazon and other publishing platforms. I've been lucky enough, since I had all this experience learning about the industry and the market, I've put out some specialized nonfiction books about publishing and book marketing because I wanted to share all this knowledge with all the people who were writing books in the industry, because the dollars, but all the money is going to the publishers or the vanity presses, which aren't necessarily scams, but they're businesses. They're meant to make a profit. And it's being fueled by the millions of writers who want to write a book, but are not creating value. They're not focused on creating books that other people want to read or enjoy or educating. They're not using systems or templates or formulas to make sure they have a good, strong, satisfying book that readers enjoy. And they're just kind of writing, whatever. And that's fine. If you just want to write a book, it's a huge challenge. It's a valuable. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about what's the point? Why even do it? Why even work really hard on something big like that? And it's kind of stuff that I'm really excited about. Stuff with my PhD thesis about the purpose of life and Paradise Lost, and stuff I haven't really shared publicly. So I'm really interested in that research, and I'm going to write a little book called Comparative about that tomorrow. But today, just the basic, the video. The basic how to write a book is so much easier when I just decided I was going to write books that readers like on purpose. So I read all the bestsellers in my genre, the field that I want to get into, and I kind of reverse engineered. These are satisfying plots from the top 10 mermaid young adult books or whatever. And I try to use a similar copying. I'm not cloning. I'm not writing like crap to market. I'm trying to transcend the gender. But to do that, you have to know the rules before you can break the rules. Otherwise, it's not going to work very well. This video seems like it's getting a little bit laggy. So I might stop here and start over when I have a better internet connection. Sorry, this went a little bit rambling. I'm not sure if I answered my main question about writing, but I'll try to make another video and stay more on topic. Thanks. Bye-bye.